Hello and welcome to Decorative. My name is Mary and this is Wes, and tonight's episode is episode 51, and we're going to be discussing ICAST because we just got back last weekend, and also want to introduce you guys to the Mudhole new showroom because we got to go down there and see it, and it was pretty overwhelming to say the least.
Yeah, there's a lot of new products.
A lot to say the least, but ICAST was super fun. We did manage to bring down the camera and we got a couple photos and a few videos, but nothing to really
write home about.
Yeah, I did some editing down. We're going to put a little compilation together about what some of the things were, but before we watch that, because it's not very long at all, what was your favorite thing that happened at ICAST this year?
Why you gotta put me on a spot like that? I mean, actually meeting Steve Harvey was pretty cool.
Yes, that was definitely the highlight of the week. I would say wasn't expecting that in any way, shape, or form. That just kind of happened. But Wednesday, when we got there, got everything set up, got the booth laid out, everything was good to go. Had my rods to my left and was sitting facing the aisle, and I had brought with me PVC to wrap on and had planned to take all 3 days to wrap on it, but also had brought stuff for marbling and also some stuff to practice the tiger wrap, but it never happened. I literally worked on the wrap for 3 days, and I didn't even work on it all day long either, because Wednesday when we got in, everything was going cool. People were coming up, I was talking to them. Wes was running around doing some filming and stuff, and we were catching up with people that we hadn't seen, and you know, having conversations with people that came up to the booth and helping some Mudhole customers find the person that they needed to go speak to with meetings and stuff. And the next thing I know, I'm balls deep wrapping. I'm face into it. Now, my piece of PVC is like 2.5 foot long, and I'm doing a massive wrap. I'm doing the nebula pattern. I knew it was going to take me 3 days to do that wrap, but I did it on purpose. And I want to keep it as a demo because I think it's going to look really pretty, and I can just set it on the table because that's what everybody picks up. They always want to pick up the little things that are on the table.
Everything's on the table.
All the things. They want to touch it, and that's what they're there for, so they can pick it up and examine it and ask questions about it. Ask if it's a sticker. No, it's thread, I promise. But I'm talking, there was like a group of 4 or 5 people that had been there for a few minutes, and I'm focused on the wrap, heads down. I hear Kevin come up, chit-chatting about who I am, blah, 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 blah. And that's pretty normal, because Kevin's always...
About every 30 minutes to an hour.
I always hear my name, and, you know, it's one of those kind of like, if I can, I look at him. If I can't, then I finish what I'm doing and then go into the conversation. But off to my left, Wes had been coming up one of the walkway that was beside us, and I hear you go, Mary. He's trying not to be obvious about it or be too loud about it, but he's trying to get my attention. And
just ignoring. I'm
ignoring it because I'm pulling a thread. I'm in the middle of a wrap. I don't have a tape anchor on this side, so I can't drop it when I get over to here. I'm trying to finish the pass. And Kevin went across the table at me, and I look up, and I'm like 7 inches from Steve Harvey's face, and I'm like, hi. I recognized him immediately. He had a face mask on, he had sunglasses on, and he had his hat pulled down because he was trying to be incognito. He was trying to be hide because people were just bombarding him the whole week, trying to get photos with him, and start having a conversation with him about custom fishing rods, and everything. I just can't believe it happened, you know. Ended up discussing potentially building him 3 rods and a bunch of other different things that may or may not come to pass. Hopefully they do. We're very eager to make that move towards some of the education stuff that he does with his ranch, and that would be really fun. And also it would be cool to give back and get some of the younger kids to kind of think about rod building not just as as a passion, or fishing as a passion.
And tackle businesses like
charters,
all the things.
How to take something you love and like turn it into a business opportunity, because that's what Steve's all about. Like we ended up we didn't talk to him as long on Wednesday. He's there for probably like 30, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And he kept picking up the Dragon Gate rod that I had, which was the leather grips that had the koi fish tooled into it. Those painted that was jumping the 3 waterfalls. And it's the Japanese myth that if the koi will jump the 3 waterfalls, which koi are known to be very lazy fish to begin with, if they'll jump 3 waterfalls, then they'll be rewarded by being turned into the golden dragon. And he loved that. He loved the leather. He loved how it felt. He's a bass fisherman, right? So that rod is not really for bass to begin with, but he loved how it felt. But there was one Japanese symbol on it.
2.
2, yeah, there's 2 on it. And I researched it, because some people walk around thinking they've got like peace or love tattooed on them, and it's like chicken soup or something bad, So I went through multiple sources to try to make sure that I actually said Dragon Gate on it. But what did he say when he looked at it?
I don't know if this says dumbass or what.
He's like, I just can't trust this. And I was like, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. It was really funny. But we left with him asking me basically kind of draw up a design for him to see what he thought of it. And I'm not going to talk about that yet until he sees it first, because I just feel like he just needs to see it before I go, yeah, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's a really cool idea, a really fun concept. I've already drawn it, sent it over, and just waiting to see if there's any changes he wants to make or anything. But I didn't have my drawing tools with me. I had no way to sketch this thing out because I had a pen, and I'm not very good at drawing with a pen. I'm multiple erasing, and nobody had a pencil. I couldn't draw it up, so we kind of digitized. Wes helped me digitize a concept on the phone with some pictures, screenshots, and stuff. And I explained that I didn't have my tools, but I'd be happy to try to get something together, because he was like, I'll come back tomorrow and see if I want it. I was like, oh, no pressure. I got homework now. So obviously for the rest of the day, I'm like half paying attention to what the wrap needs versus what I know I've got to plan to get back to him tomorrow. And it was a mess, but Wednesday was fun. We took a break after that and walked the show a little bit. And we ran into none other than what Wes was talking about was going to be there 2 podcasts ago. Doc Ski came with Batson.
Yep.
We talked to him for like 10 or 15 minutes, got big old hugs, and saw his displays of his work. He brought his 2 big cases that have his weaves and his wraps and marbling and tiger wraps and stuff in it. And it was fun to have a chit chat with him. And then the rest of the day was just people in and out, constant busy, and then happy hour strikes. And we pretty much quit for the day. Started walking around.
Time to wrap it up at that point.
Trying to walk around and just having conversations with everybody and drinking. And then Thursday comes in. I'm a nervous wreck because I have been emailing back and forth with his son a couple of times the night before in regards to the designs. And I'm nervous. Like, is he going to hate it? Is he going to like it? Like, da-da-da. And we had no idea when he was going to come. So we just kind of like, all right, get into the show mentality. It was like 2 hours later, hour and a half. Something. It was really early in the morning. All I hear is Mary, and I'm like, oh, hi guys. And so that time I looked up, immediately recognized who they were, and Steve was trying to get out of the aisle so people wouldn't see him because he didn't have his face gear on this, and he just had his sunglasses and hat pulled down. You recognize the mustache, right?
Yeah.
And so I told him, I said, come in here and go sit down in the corner. Like, we'll put a bubble around you and keep people out of here. And he sat there for like an hour and a half.
2 hours almost, yeah.
Having a conversation with us, talking about the builds, talking about his life, sharing some of his personal stories, having heart-to-hearts with Brooke and Kevin and Chris Adams and us, and it was just crazy. And it was really cool to meet him and have a chat with him, because the guy that you see on TV with the humor and how nice he is, that's the man that you sat down with.
Yeah.
It wasn't a fake personality at all. He was really excited to meet Bill Dance. I thought it was crazy, another celebrity excited to meet Bill Dance, and like there's been videos shared about them meeting, but we left with a real good conversation. He enjoyed hanging out in the booth. He didn't feel pressured about anything. He had real good chats, and obviously he had a team of people with him, including his son, and we were all just kind of creating a barricade to kind of keep people away. And as soon as people recognized they were there, they were swarming into the booth, but we would just kind of tighten up or relax whenever the crowd, like, you could just tell that everybody was under the understanding to let the man just chill. He probably had a breather for that, I guess.
Yeah.
Because Tuesday when he was out on the water, it took him 3 hours to move 3 booths, right? Yep. He was like, it was just too much. It was just too much, man.
Yeah.
That's why he came in with the face mask and everything next day.
Well, because he's there not only to accept the award that American Sport Fishing Association gave to him for his ranch, he's working deals with companies to get products
for
to help support his ranch so that he can bring more kids in.
Yeah, because he brings like 250 at a time. So he gets enough volunteers and adults that there is 4 adults for 10 kids that come out. And I had no idea he did that. I had no idea he was a bass fisherman.
I didn't know anything about it.
I never deep dived into Steve Harvey's life, you know? So it was like, when you're learning all this stuff, you're like, oh, wow, I really like you even more. And then Friday, we had a bunch of kids come by the booth.
Yep.
There's probably like 50 total.
50 or 60, yeah.
And they came in these little groups, and Anthony from the education department was explaining kind of like what Mudhole did with the education classes, and they all were like coming around my booth to see what you could do with the custom rods and the craziness. Like Anthony was always, every single speech that he gave, which was 3 groups per hour or something like that, maybe more. I can't remember exactly, but
I think it was every
20 minutes,
every 20 or 30 minutes,
something. But he'd be like, I don't do what she does. I don't do any of this. But this is some stuff that you can try if you ever get really into it and whatever. But we teach this stuff, and they'd ask questions, and they seemed pretty interested. But that same group wasn't just stopping at us. That those groups were going around to certain other
vendors.
booths to learn more about the angling industry in general and like what you can, you know, do with it basically. So I thought that was kind of cool that ICAST put that together, and we were one of the booths that they stopped at. Obviously, we saw our friends Bill Falconer and all the people at Fuji, and Wes saw his favorite pliers there, the Halloween ones.
Oh, yeah, those toy pliers.
Toy pliers. He had all kinds of colors. There's a set that was Halloween, Mahi, American flag, bunch of other ones. I didn't remember all of them.
There's black and white polka dot.
Yeah.
All kinds. Anglers Resources carrying those now.
Yep, and we got to walk a little bit more this year because I needed a few mental breaks after talking with Steve because my brain was just fried. And they were like, yeah, go. But I did sit down. I got 90% through the wrap, surprisingly. It's basically close the background and do
now
all
it's
the
pushed to the
final.
side.
Now it's to the side. Hopefully the tape will hold. Hopefully it wasn't all for nothing.
Right.
And then don't lose the tension on it because I got to get caught up with stuff here. But it is what it is. I didn't get a chance to marble because I asked them to bring the epoxy, and 2 people dropped the ball on it. And I told them it was fine. I wasn't worried about it because, one, the dryers were sitting in front of me this year, and everybody that reached across them to grab stuff, it would have just been a mess anyways. I didn't know how the place was going to be set up until I got there, and seeing that they were in front, I was like, yeah, it's not a big deal you guys forgot the epoxy. I'm not even worried about it. And then the tiger wrap, I just never had time to do it. Although we did a guide repair while we were there. Yeah. For a wreck. For somebody that was for a charter captain that brought in a fly rod.
That was out of the Bahamas. Don't know what happened to that rod because we left Friday early.
We left at like 12:31.
12:31 o'clock, yeah.
We had just put epoxy on it at 12.
And we're like, hey, that's turning. Nobody touch it.
Nobody touch it. Somebody keep eyes on
it.
Good
luck.
We're leaving. And I looked at him and I was like, you know this is going to take a long time to dry. And he's like, I told him. But so I don't know. Man may have rolled home with a wet or all the fibers from the carpet and stuff stuck to his guy. He got it fixed. Keith, does using glue to hold your eyes to the rod blank before wrapping cause any rod performance or issues later on in its life?
Couldn't tell you.
We don't use the glue, so I don't know. My assumption is that it shouldn't, because what's holding the guide to the rod is the thread, and then the epoxy and the thread together are creating that bond. But we've
never used it. We only use 1/8 inch strips of tape and hold the guides on.
I use zip ties because I hate the tape.
I just use tape so I can just peel it off.
Considering how many people use the glue, I would assume that there's probably not an issue, but I can't say yay or nay either way. We just don't have experience with that.
Sorry.
And then Friday we left early because we had to go back to Mudhole, had a meeting, saw the showroom, wanted to do some video of the showroom so that
it was really more to see the showroom and see what all has been added, because they've added, what was it?
Like 5,000.
I want to say it was 5,000 SKUs.
I know it was a 5. It was either 500 or 5,000.
It wasn't 500. There's more than 500 different hard baits in that store now.
Pretty sure it was 5,000.
I'm pretty sure it was 5,000 different SKUs.
But before we get into that, I do want to show you guys some of the video that was taken. So this was day 1 of the setup. I just had all of my little artwork stuff just sitting out there and just displaying how the CRB butt wrap alignment jigs used. And these are the things that people were reaching across. I did bring some grips with me. Just some stuff.
Which wrap sample do you think was picked up the most?
out of all of those, out of these three that are sitting here, the spider with the paint on it got picked up the most. And I still had people baffled as to how I did it. And when I explained it, they were like, oh, you tricky. And I said, yeah, I like to do things easy, but make it look complicated. And then the grips got picked up a good bit. I had a kid come up and ask if they were free. And I was like, no, not those.
Sell it to you, but not free.
But that's right before I got started with wrapping. And this was just a video early morning that I took real quick of everybody in the booth. And this was Wes's handiwork using our camera on a tripod for the very first time at a show instead of just in the podcast.
And it was tight quarters too, so
yeah, we couldn't be sitting out in the hall. This was also Wednesday, and just some of the pictures of the rods I have. We had to cut some of the pictures down, but the booth was really busy, and that's Kevin. And we got Bob McCamey laughing, and then Doc Ski. Oh, he also got, this was Thursday, he got this appreciation for everything that he does for the vets and stuff, and he was super stoked about this. Congratulated him on that. So this is one of the weaves that he had in this case. You're about to see the case in a minute, but it is my favorite one.
That weave.
I love that weave.
I told him he has to will it to me.
I know. And what I really like about it is he took the kind of snow kind of concept and he marbled this very faint marble around the outside of it. So you get this kind of mist kind of coming through the smoke kind of vibe. And it looks, personally, that's just my favorite out of that entire box. And this is one shot. These boxes, how big were these?
They were probably 20 by 40.
And they're slam packed full of little short bits of tiger wraps, weaves, regular wraps, marbling, like just slam full of it. And I thought, man, this is a great way, first off, to display your stuff and also to keep it from getting stolen. But what a way to just be able to look at the work you've done over the years, too.
Yeah.
You know, it's one thing to carry around the demo sticks that I have, but this is a whole different level. And this was the other one. I think Wes and I, Thursday when we went down there, I think we stared at these for like 15 minutes by ourselves because he was talking to somebody else and we didn't want to interrupt. So we just started picking out.
I just wanted to see the case because
we hadn't seen it.
His work is outrageous.
We have never seen these before. The only other time that we met him was in Foley 2 years ago. But I was just amazed at how many weaves he's done. And that's Wes with Doc. We love Doc. He's such a nice guy. And then this was Friday. This is part of that gathering of the crew of people that were around for the kids. Matt Steffen, another brand ambassador for Foundation, was also there, along with Terry Scoggins, was popping in and out all weekend too. He was messing with me about my wraps. Told me he could wrap 4 rods to my one guide. And I told him, yep, you absolutely could. What?
You are horrible with names.
What? Is it
Scroggins?
Oh, Scroggins, sorry. Well, at least I got most of the sounds right.
Right.
I missed the R.
Just drop the R.
My apologies. I dropped the R like he dropped my rap, so it's fine.
He did.
That's another group of the kids that was standing around. And they were just, learning about angler stuff and the industry and what you could, all the things that you could do. That's Matt standing beside Anthony. Hi. That was Wednesday morning. And then that's some of the pictures of Steve. So I had other people take some pictures and give them to me. And there was other ones that obviously Wes took or I took when I could. But this particular one where I'm standing there looking at him, this is right after he just scared me. And first off, he's so freaking tall compared to me. But the rod he has in his hand, he did not put it down the entire time that we were talking, was the Dragon Gate one. He just kept messing with it and feeling it, and he's just like, man, I need something like this. But I didn't know how to act around him. I was just listening to him talk. Like, I'm not going to interrupt Steve Harvey. Like, you just say whatever you need to, and then if you ask a question, I'm going to respond to it. So it's just the many faces of Mary just being kind of like, talking to Steve Harvey. I'm trying not to act out. Trying to be cool, man. Be cool. And that's somebody else gave one, and he's got my wrap in his hand. That looks like Kaleidoscope, or it could be a fire one.
Orange and black.
My Halloween colored one. And then this is when he came back on Thursday, and I was showing him the rough digital version of what we were thinking of doing. And he was very adamant he wasn't going to tell me how to do my job, that I just needed to come up with it because he felt like experts would do better at their jobs. And this is us with our little formation around him. And then that was I think that was Thursday. I don't remember exactly, but there's a lot of people just hanging out, learning about rod building and stuff. And asking questions, and that's another group.
And that was all on Friday.
That was on Friday, yeah. Another angle of the kids. So that's all the digital stuff that we have, mainly of Steve Harvey, unfortunately, but that was the highlight of the week. And not 20 minutes after he left the booth, it was like everybody in the grapevine had heard what had happened, and it was just nuts. But I did enjoy ICAST this time. We got to walk more and got to see more things and got to talk with more people. And I think you enjoyed the Fishkins booth the most.
Yeah, definitely did.
Wes is putting together some rods with some of their grips, and we will be taking photos and talking about them on social media. But they are very, very fun and very, very good.
And the options are limitless.
And they are the replacement, basically.
Replacement version
of the wind grips. It's a different material, but it feels the same. It's softer to me. It's not quite kind of grippy, but they don't fall apart. They've been in testing.
And they were supposed to come out
last year,
but their golf grips hit the golf market, and their business went up 300%.
They couldn't keep up
in just a week or so.
So they were like, we're going to catch up, and then we're going to come back and talk about it with the rod builders. So they're caught up now. They're good to go, but they're really cool. I think they would do really well on the market, and the options are so limitless that I think it's going to be something that's going to just dive right into the major component companies, and you're able to contact them yourself and get stuff done too. The tattoo guy was back again this year. The barber was back again this year.
No, the barber wasn't there last year. It was just a tattoo.
Oh yeah, the tattoo guy was there. We had a barber
in the Bahio booth.
Which they had fun hats. There was one hat in there in particular I really wanted, but never got a chance to get it. But segueing into the product of the night, our product of the night is actually Mudhole's Showroom. And the hat that I couldn't get was at Mudhole, so I got it anyways. But as you can see, as you open into the actual showroom, the beginning of it, we have a bunch of apparel by a bunch of different companies and stuff they've added to their list. This one in particular is a place, it's called
Mighty River Project.
Mighty River Project, and what they're doing is they're focusing on rebuilding the St. John's.
Conservation for the St. John's River in particular, because, you've got CCA, you've got all these other they're nonprofits, but I'm going to call them corporations that focus on saltwater and the conservation and in the Gulf and on the coast, but nobody was focusing on the St. John's River, and that river runs majority of Florida.
Yeah, and most of the grass is gone, and it needs a lot of help. So this particular group is doing good things for them, and they were actually in some of the photos. The green shirts was part of that group. They still have the rod building section up front. They have added a spool.
Line winder.
A line winder. So when you buy a reel, you can get it wound. Is that the correct way to say that? Wound?
Yeah. And they're doing deals where, like, if you buy a line and a reel, they'll do everything for you and stuff like that. They've added more of a all-in-one stop for local, especially. That alone will help increase foot traffic and get even more people into custom fishing rods.
And these kits, the spinning rod all-in-one kit, won this year. And these kits are designed for people that are wanting to get into rod building. Also, there's walk-ins that are coming in, and this is one of the reasons why they have expanded to having pre-made builds and tackle and all this other stuff, is because they have had hundreds of people walk in the door looking for a pre-built rod, thinking it was a tackle shop because it says Mudhole Custom Tackle. They used to be. When Mudhole first started, it used to be a tackle shop.
Rod building and tackle crafting.
And then they moved towards the rod builder, and now they're going back to their roots and expanding upon that. They just thought it was a great idea to move towards having some there for those walk-ins that are coming in looking for a rod.
Well, not everybody wants to take the time to build their rod.
Right.
They want to go fishing. They want a rod right then.
And then have your tackle to go with it too, or your reel. So I also walked over to their custom rods that they have in-house, and we're going to kind of stare at these for a little bit. These are all built by different builders, and they all just had some amazing stuff incorporated into them. Obviously, I'm a big fan of loving the wraps and anything that's done on the rods. There was abalone, there was feather inlays, there's snakeskin. That was some of Don Schaefer's wood painted reel seats. And just, I love to look at what other people do and just see how they come up with their different designs and stuff. And this one in particular, I couldn't get my phone to focus it on the shelf, was just really pretty. I don't think they were weaves, but I couldn't quite figure out exactly what they were. But the whole rod was built really nicely and it blended really well together. And there was another one that that was the abalone one. I got really excited about that one. I think I paused on it. Some nice ellipticals put in, just wood grips, very clean, look good.
Little gator skin
with the feathers. The feathers is what caught my attention. Love the skin with the feathers. I think it's a really good look. That's some of the abalone and some decals, and it is the feather that is sitting beside this one.
Oh, is that the bird?
The bird.
Oh,
boom. This gentleman took a bunch of feathers and made them into the shape. This is all feathers, even the little fish. Like, that's a lot of work, and I messed with that rod for a long time. Just not for this video.
Looking at all the I looked at that rod myself for a solid 10 minutes at all the feather work. I didn't look at the rest of the rod, just the feathers.
Well, it was just, this one caught my attention, but there was another one on the upper part of it that was done very nicely too. And it was just elegantly done. Another thing with the feather inlays and some skin that's been cut. That's another idea. You don't have to have it all the way around. You can have it cut in little pieces and put it on there. Narrow, yes, the kits are priced really well.
Now, if y'all don't know, those kits come with the blank, the guides, the grips, everything as far as parts needed, everything as far as glues needed, epoxy, hand wrapper.
They got a reamer.
Everything you would need to actually start and build that rod for $200.
Yeah, so enough glue, enough epoxy.
Yeah, you can legitimately take that, scan the QR code, or pull the pamphlet out that has the other QR code. It takes you to videos on how to do it step by step, and everything you need is in that box.
It's basically like taking a mud hole class, but without the instruction.
Yeah, it's self-instruct with their videos.
Yeah, you have to go educate yourself.
But for $200,
it's
really,
and
then you have some of the parts you need to build another one, as far as wrapper and dryer, and because it comes with a single rod dryer and all that.
All right, here we go. So we're back on. I love that little fish. I thought he was cute. I didn't want to spend a whole lot of time on this because this is walking through the entire showroom took some time, but there's some nice marbling that's going on, some nice like barber pole wraps where it just spins around it, and I loved this in particular. So I think that's an applique that it was put on there and then just sealed, but I'm not sure. I just thought it looked really awesome and had to take a minute to appreciate it. And because I was doing the video pretty fast, there's some moments where I paused the video so that you can actually see what I'm looking at. Another one of marbling that was done really cool, and I love this color combo, that orange and that turquoise. And I was also picking up one of Nuno's rods. So Nuno Paulino is actually one of the people that has inspired me to be very artistic with the work. I don't have a clue how he did this. This has got to be some sort of wrap or skin or something that he's used on this entire thing, but just how pretty it is. I just appreciated the artistic side of it, and loved the fact that they had one of his rods actually in the showroom. I think it's some sort of like skin or like fabric or something, but he even put it on the guides. Like all the guides have it. So very cool, very cool. And once I got done admiring that one, there was another one on the shelf that I think is just super fun. They built a Halloween themed rod. It has pine straw sticking out of it. Moving off of the custom rods, we're now going into the section that they have out on the floor for rod repair, which this entire little end cap has everything you need to repair your rod while you're out on the water, basically, along with some thread kits and some other brushes and things like that that you're going to need. This is also another shelf where they've got their wrappers, they've got their stands, they've got the tool rests and their CRB butt alignment jigs, just basically all of the rod building equipment that you could possibly need. You can come in, grab it, check out, head out. If you don't see it on the shelf, obviously ask one of the customer service representatives.
Yep. The new variable speed dryer sitting out there.
Yep. This was on the other side of the end cap, which is basically just all of the possible color preservers, paste, cork sealers, all of the liquid stuff, if you will.
And just to touch on FlexCoat. Yes, they bought FlexCoat. They are going to continue with FlexCoat. They are not changing anything about flex coat. Just because I know people have been asking.
Yeah, it's going to stay the same. Sorry, this is not end cap. This is the other side to that rack. Or the step down from that other rack. I just forgot where I was at. But all of the other extra things that you're going to need, even the ligature bands are out there, little bags of grab and go for everything. Everything's also, and you got your grips that are also bagged up here for your sets that you can buy, and also the colored reel seats that they have in stock. You can just come in and grab whichever one you need. And then on this end cap, we've got some
guide kits, tip kits,
and those LZR box kits that have a little cool little box that they come in. And then this is where the shop changes.
So they've started carrying all kinds of missile, soft plastics, KVD, Zoom, basically as much variety as possible for soft baits. Then they've got all pliers, knives, tweezers, things of that sort.
They got lube sitting out there too.
Then you get into hard baits, poppers, JYG jigs. They've actually got a very large selection of those.
And Hunter was saying that those were moving very well. They were performing very well out in the water for people.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, it's kind of like, I had to slow the video down because if you watched it in real time, you wouldn't have seen a dang thing. I was moving too fast. I didn't realize that I was going that fast. So I'm sorry, there's a little lag, if you will.
Then you get into your leaders, wire, build hard plastic skirts.
Walking through those things is just crazy to see all of the stuff that's just piled in there, and the store looks great.
Yep.
It doesn't look overwhelmed. It doesn't look like it's packed too much. Like, they did a great job on the layout of trying to get everything to fit in and look organized and still clean and not feel like everything got cramped up. But this is just that first turn, or that second turn, and then they've still got their MHX blanks out in the display. They got their Pro Wrap over here. Don't judge the contents of it. Most of it was at the show. And then this stuff for the boats.
And you've got, let's see, square bills, XDs.
All the things.
Can't focus there.
I was going too fast. Even in slow motion, it's too fast. It's just a preview.
Hooks. Jig heads. Can't read that.
That's just all those plastics that they still had.
More hard baits. 6 cents.
Yeah, see, even in slow motion, it's too fast.
Hooks, more terminal tackle.
Tackle storage, containers, things that you can contain your stuff in. They had a nice selection of that by Busby.
Busby Management.
And we got more tackle.
More soft baits, more swim baits, paddle tails.
They had so much tackle. It's one of the reasons why I didn't focus on it so much, because there was so much of it.
Then you've got JYG swim baits with their jig heads.
But you think of like an angler walking in wanting to get a pre-built rod and some tackle and stuff, like they walked into the perfect place, because now they got line, they've got their whatever's
leaders,
you know, stuff that they need, and they can walk out and then go fishing, you know. And then they got these. Wes was in love with these bags. He wants some of them.
The marsh bags.
He's like, I need that.
Are so nice.
And then there's some tournament stuff that they have.
Bags, culling tags, rulers.
And then I love the fact they have rod socks in now. So you can get some rod socks to protect your rods. And then we're back into
monofilament braid. More of your line selection. And then we get into just about this entire section is no live bait needed.
And that was another one that they were doing really well with. I just grabbed one. I just grabbed whatever was going to be focused easy on the camera. But, you know, there's no live bait concept. I've seen the videos, and they look like live bait.
They work.
They work really well. It's kind of creepy how well they work, but that section's doing pretty good. And they also have the end cap that has their apparel on it too, so you can get like hats and some shirts and stuff. But they have a pretty big section here of just the...
No Live Bait Needed has the largest section, other than if you combined all of JYG stuff.
Yeah, and that's their apparel. And then we have apparel and some of the MHX pre-built blanks along with Shimano blanks.
Marsh apparel up in the back. Cash and rods.
Blues. And then these are the hats from
the Bahio hats, Florida. What is that company called? Florida Reels.
That teal hat's the one I wanted, but I got it while I was there.
6 Cents apparel and hats.
There's Fitzgerald's in there too. They've got the
AFCO.
AFCO, and this little section up here, they've got the Fishies, which that's one of the hats that you got, and we've got a bag for them.
Fishy is based out of Alaska,
yeah,
of all places.
That was more custom rods we walked by. And
fly fishing section, which currently is smaller than it's going to be, because they are going to expand that more as well.
Yeah, and then more just pre-built stuff.
St. Croix rods.
St. Croix.
More Fitzgerald.
So you come in there and you don't want to build a rod. They got push poles over here in the corner. You grab your stuff and go. Like
Loose pre-made combos.
And then we come back up. Sorry. They come back up here to the front to display the rod stand. Love that rod stand.
And they're actually one of the few companies down there that have clutch swim baits in stock.
So we're now into the display cases, and some of these, the most expensive one was
$275 swim bait.
I was like, oh, that would hurt to lose that one. But they look really real. Like, I could see why they might be in high demand.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any, I don't know much about them. Actually, I don't know anything about them at all. But when I was looking at them, I was like, dang, look at the fins and stuff on them. So
the paint job's alone.
Yeah, it looks like a real fish just hanging out in the case.
And all of this stuff is available on the website, so that you don't have to go there to get it. You can order it with your rod building supplies. And they are not currently adding this to the wholesale side if you have a wholesale account, just because you have to be a regional distributor to do wholesale accounts on these products.
Yeah. And now we're in the reels section, which there's a lot of reels, guys. There's so many reels by so many different companies.
Luz, Abu, they've got a very good selection of Baits reels, and they'll be carrying some of the spinning reels when Baits comes out with those.
And then they got the
new Visser reels. That's the former owner of Van Stahl, after he sold it, started Visser.
Says it's better. I had to highlight these.
Then all your electric reels.
They were bought because they look like Iron Man, but they haven't been able to get anybody to buy it.
I'm still waiting on Brooke to make that deal for me.
Right? I'll have to get one for you. More reels, more reels, more reels. And the great thing about this, guys, is that think about with your customers. Now you can get your rods built, right? You can be building them a rod. You can upsell them for some reels. A reel that matches their combo.
Yep.
Think about adding on tackle to be able to get a little bit of extra money. You know, like this is stuff that you can use as a builder to help assist your client with wherever they're going fishing. Or if you're like me, where you have wives that are constantly going, I just know he likes to go fishing for this, but I don't know anything about it.
And if they want to get everything for it, you can go ahead and supply that and even mark it up just a little.
Yeah, just a little. Or, just move it through. I would mark it up a little bit because, you're going through the hassle of ordering it and stuff, but obviously don't overcharge. But it's just that now we can kind of add these little things on there to help boost the overall customer's experience with custom fishing rods.
Yep.
If they don't have a reel for it, boom, here's some options that I can get from here and we're good to go. And then you can also have them go ahead and put the line on it for them. And that's kind of how we were looking at the store. Obviously, yes, it's a one-stop shop for somebody to come in there and get everything they need for fishing. Locally. Loki. We're going to go to Loki. But I'm not local. It takes us 8 hours to get there on a good day. I'm not driving down there to go get something from them, but I can order it and have it here in a couple of days because of Amazon now. That was the best thing I've ever had. I didn't know they were moving to Amazon. Right. And we got a shipment from them on a Sunday, and I thought,
why are we getting a shipment from
Why did Amazon just drop off a mud hole package? What just happened? What? And we got to talking with Bob, and they made a deal with Amazon. So now Amazon is one of their shippers, and now they're getting their stuff,
and it's
moving.
Smooth.
And I was like, way to fix something that everybody was complaining about. Like, you technically
even though it wasn't your fault.
You didn't have any control over it, but you said, all right, they're mad at this person. They're not doing their job. Let's go to somebody who is known to do their job. And now we got Amazon shipping our stuff.
Yep.
It's the greatest thing.
And now, typically, 2 to 3 business days, you're going to have rod building parts. You can have bait and tackle delivered.
Hell, maybe you need to go fishing. And you don't want to go to the store because you're too busy running behind and packing. And you got kids like we do. And everything's last minute. And you're like, I'll just have that dropped off. Like I do my groceries every once in a while.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to go to the store.
We're about to do that tomorrow.
We're about to do that tomorrow. I'm about to order that groceries and y'all just deliver it because it's free. Thank you. Appreciate you. Here's your tip. You know, like if you don't even have to tip Amazon. Walking into the showroom versus the last time that we walked into it
in January,
I wasn't overwhelmed. Like it wasn't like walking in. You're like walking into like there's so much stuff. It was very open still. It was well laid out. Like they did a great job at packing the shelves. But everything is so clean and still open, and you don't feel claustrophobic looking at all the stuff. You don't feel like it's gonna like fall on you.
Yeah.
And there's things that are still going to be added to the actual showroom, but that's just where they are now. So I fully support this endeavor. I think it's going to be great for both sides. Because if you look at it from a business standpoint, you have Mudhole, who started as custom rod building components and tackle. That's where they started. They moved back to just rod building stuff. Now they're moving back into where they originally came because they've had people wanting to get the tackle, because they've had people expecting to come in and get a pre-built rod. So now we got these people walking in that don't know anything about rod building. They just want to go fishing. Then you have a tiny little conversation with them. You're not sales pitching them. You're just a tiny little conversation in passing. Hey, we teach classes. You can build your own rod. You know how cool it is to build your own rod and catch your fish, the first fish on that rod. Now you got them kind of interested in learning how to learn about rod building.
And a lot of those factory rods are up at that $200 price point already.
Yeah. Get the kit. Get the kit for $200. You got everything you need in the kit. Just time and patience is not involved. You know? So I think it's a great thing. I was very excited to see it. It is. We're very lucky we get to go down there. We obviously, if we weren't teaching classes or doing ICAST and stuff, we wouldn't be able to visit. And they're all they need is a little section of groceries, and they'll have my whole paycheck. Listen.
Don't give them any ideas.
Listen, I spent money when we walked in. Actually, we came out with 4 blanks, real seats, guides, hats, shirts.
4 blank guides, tips, hat, shirt.
I'm like, we got to go, and
we gotta get out of here.
I'm like, we got to go because you're spending more and more of my money. We need to eat food tonight, so I'm on the boat with that. I have my whole paycheck, and they keep upping stuff. Like I'm about to just go take it,
attach an Aldi to it, and
right?
Go to town.
Don't.
There is the technically American Tackle warehouse next door.
Don't start. There is space that could be expanded upon, but shush. Wow, I just ordered blanks being delivered next week by UPS. I was impressed by that, but from Amazon, wow. I don't know if it charges anything extra, or if there's certain ways that you get Amazon, but like Amazon delivered ours.
We just know it showed up Sunday via
That's
Amazon.
The only reason why I noticed. If it had been any other day, I wouldn't have paid attention to it, but I was like, why do I have an order? Why is Mudhole here? Why did Amazon drop it off? How did they get my
cameras?
What?
Amazon truck out there.
I looked at him and I said, I ordered that from Mudhole, right? Like I didn't find rod building supplies on Amazon in a fever dream or something, did I? All right, so we're going to go into the giveaway. Duncan is here again tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And Duncan has won 3 weeks in a row, and I'm beginning to think he's about to be our triathlete wizard at this point because he's won.
I'm making this super easy just so hopefully he has a lag.
I don't know. It may be too easy. He may be the first one to jump on this. So everybody get in the ready to try to beat Duncan, all right? So our giveaway product tonight has nothing to do with ICAST. I wish that we could have gotten something,
but it's something
amazing
everyone needs at one point or another.
And everybody could use an extra 1 or 4.
A slip clutch single rod dryer. Mm-hmm. So you can plug it in wherever you need to, even if it's inside on the dining room table while your wife's away.
Or on the countertop and she doesn't know.
Like, the bed, side of the floor, beside the bed.
I wouldn't put it on the bed. I don't think I would put it on the bed.
We did this one because it has the slip clutch. That way, while it's drying, if you need to stop it, you can just grab it. The motor's going to keep turning inside of that slip clutch. But it comes in 9 and 18 RPMs. If, for whatever reason, Duncan wins, if you're international, we'll need to know which voltage you specifically need. Most likely it's going to be a 220. In the States, it's going to be the normal 120, 115.
Demonstrating the 9 and the 18 RPM, as far as, is it going to dry one better than the other?
Double the RPMs.
It's just faster. Neither one. Drying it at 8 RPMs or whatever, or versus the 18, it doesn't affect it. I
prefer 18 because we don't use hot build. We use medium and light build.
And we don't, well, when I put mine on, even though I have multiple places to dry, being the super thin coats, drying slower doesn't affect me. But like Wes will put on a slightly heavier coats than I do, so if it was turning a little bit slower, there is potential that it could sag, which in case you'd have to wick it off until it stopped doing that. So turning it does faster with a heavier coat does make more sense. So keep that in mind. I'll try to trip Duncan while y'all answer. Now that's a long run, John. All right, you better go ahead and start running. He's in Australia.
In what year did the Decorative Studio start? David White Walls.
David! Congratulations, David. David has dethroned Duncan. So 2021 is when I started my business. Obviously, been building since 2011. 14 years now.
That's why I specifically asked about the business.
Yeah, started in 21. It's only been 4 years.
And if you happen to see the new website, you'd notice it on the logo that's on there.
Yeah. Wes has been working on the decorativestudio.com. It's a place to get all of your shirts and also any of my random extra grip sets that I have or rods that we have that are built for sale will be posted there. And it also has now put in a grip order request and a rod order request for a quote on there to try to ease up some of the traffic and the messages and I keep track of stuff better. But congratulations, he's running back from Australia. John, you did a good job. You tripped him up. Good job, John.
David, we'll need your info. Mm-hmm. Name, address, date of birth, city, state, zip code.
We don't need all that.
Email address.
Just send me an email. Or just send me a message.
Driver's license number, social security number, your mother's maiden name, the birth date of your first child and your last child.
Oh my goodness.
Don't need the middle children because passwords are always the first or last child.
Oh, you were rude. So rude. Anyways, oh my goodness, I gotta take a minute and thank our sponsors. Mudhole Foundation Outdoor Group. Thank you. We went to ICAST and we met Steve Harvey because of you. Couldn't have had that conversation with him or even met him up if we weren't down there demonstrating stuff and having conversations with people. Also want to thank them for also allowing us to give back to the community and a little bit of money off whenever they order from Mudhole, saving 10% using Decorative 10.
And that works on those new rod building kits. It takes $20 off.
$20. You can also get 10% off of CRB, MHX, Pro Products, Gaho Rail Seats, and also American Tackle. So anytime that there's not a sale running on and you need to stock up on thread or you need to stock up on epoxy or just guides in general, Decorative 10. You can save 10%. Only other thing that I want to say is that the announcement for the advanced classes will be somewhere soon. We have the date. We just can't officially announce the date until the date is announced by them. But
Come on, Bob.
It is going to be in the fall. And we've already been contacted about teaching. I don't know what I'm teaching yet. I sent him a list of 20 things that me or you could teach.
We ain't teaching all of it, though.
But hopefully it's not the Mary Show like it was last time. I was filling in for people that quit. But big thank you to them and congratulations again for winning Best Tackle at ICAST. It's been 2 times we've been there that they've won and it's been amazing to see them carry around the little trophy. It's going to be in the showroom with their kit as well.
With all the others.
And all the other ones that they had. So appreciate them. Use our code Decorative10, save you some money.
He's got a point. You should be posting.
You have a code for Mudhole. You should post it on the Facebook page. I do. See, I got to get better at all of the things.
So Decorative 10 we use on.
It's for the podcast. But for my business page.
It's Mary 10.
Mary 10.
Either one work. It doesn't matter.
They do the same thing. I can use.
Get you the same discount.
I use Mary 10 for all of my socials, which because of the way that Mudhole has put their site up on the phone now, when it loads, I can't get to the tab to be able to copy and share the link to what I'm trying to talk about.
I figured out a workaround for that.
Good, you can share it with me. But up until now, being a bleach damaged from the blonde hair for so many years. I couldn't figure out how to share the link, so I stopped talking about the Mary 10 thing, but I do need to post it more. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, that's just extra money. You guys are going to be ordering stuff. Get money off and save it, because it just helps. So I apologize. I am horrible at socials. I get videos out, but I'm terrible at promoting myself or anything that is good. Really, honestly. That's one of those things this year I want to work at and get better. Obviously, you could stop shaking your head so damn hard.
Pictures. Finished rod pictures.
Yes.
That's all I'm going to say.
I know. We were trying to put pictures together for the decorativestudio.com today, and I don't take pictures of my finished builds because I'm doing the video of them, and I just forget it. The one I did for Josie's gift, though, I did take finished pictures of it, but I haven't posted them yet because I got sidetracked with ICAST. So I did take finished pictures of that. I just haven't put it together yet.
But didn't get one of...
What, the last rod?
Oh, Beetlejuice. You just had it on your phone.
Yeah, you were looking on the computer. I hadn't posted it, which is dumb. I hadn't posted it on my Facebook, my business page, but I had them on my phone.
Yep.
So I don't know what's going on with that. So I need to start posting. I need to post photos more. That's all it boils down to.
Anybody want to do social media for free?
I'll hire you for free. I'll feed you. That's about all I can do. And you can...
Give you a few blanks.
Yeah, we can work out a deal with some blanks. I'll teach you what I know.
No, Neryl. The 10% off code does not work on the tackle and reels and things of that nature.
3 sets of rod pics to post also. I hate doing pics. Well, good. At least I'm not the only one that's like terrible at photos.
Jim said, "Don't worry, I'm bad too."
Yeah, I was reading Jim's. Don't worry,
her thing is just the finished rod picture because she always talks about it in videos and reels and.
I forget.
But then we don't have a finished rod picture to store to show that hey, this is what this rod looked like.
I always have the finish of the grips. I always have the finish of the wrap.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even always take pictures of the guides because I just.
Yep.
But I always have the separations of stuff. I just never have the actual finished pics. But the last one, the themed rods, we saw that in full blown digital on the screen because I was like, oh yeah, there's the grips, there's a wrap. I don't have pictures of the whole rod.
Yep.
Also, one of the other things that a lot of people ask, should I go to ICAST or should I go to like the International Custom Rod Building Expo? As a rod builder, Expo.
Every time.
The Expo is going to win hands down because it is tailored to rod builders. It's all about rod building.
If you're running a tackle store as a rod builder,
ICAST.
That's kind of 50-50.
You should go to both, but ICAST would definitely get you to where you can start to have conversations and meetings and start maybe like getting some deals and getting some people into your shop because you can sit down and meet with them face to face. But if you had to choose between the Expo or ICAST for a rod builder, it makes more sense to do the Expo.
Mm-hmm.
And I am happy to report, I don't know if you guys have, I've been talking about it, but February 28th through March 1st, the Expo again will be in Winston-Salem. David is he's in discussions with a bunch of different people to see if we're going to do like a teaching class on Friday, in which case I bounce this question to you. If you were to have to pay for a class that's more smaller
people... You don't have to pay.
No, but I'm saying, no, on Fridays it would be paid.
Well, I know, but you don't, it's not a mandatory you have to go and have to pay for the class.
Would you let me finish the sentence so they would understand instead of jumping in? Because you're making assumptions and you know what that means. But if...
Makes an ass out of Uma Thurman.
Yeah. That's what we're going with. If you were going to pay for a class where it's a smaller class... maybe 3 to 5 people in said class, and you're learning something. Let's say for me, I'm teaching you something. Maybe I don't know, it would be at least 2 hours. I think anything past 2 hours is going to be a little bit much to just kind of focus something on. But if you were going to pay for a class like that, what would you want to learn? What would you expect to get out of that class? What would make you feel that paying, I don't even know what they're discussing as far as payment, but what would make you want to come a day early, have to have the extra hotel fees, the extra food, the extra drive, the extra travel, all that stuff. What would make you inclined to do that? Because that's the feelers I'm trying to get. I'm going to ask it on my business page too, and also in other places for that. But David is wanting to make sure that the entire thing stays exactly the same as how Tom has been running it, but also wants to allow for more hands-on classes. Friday being one of those options, and also having Thread Central having a few kinds of hands-on classes as well, while the other seminars are also running. or them being counter of each other so you can make it to everything? What would you guys want to learn?
Any new EVA sheets colors in the works?
Not for the sheets yet. Still trying to get the tariff stuff sorted out, honestly. See what's going on with that.
We just ordered more black sheets.
We got black sheets and blocks coming in.
Kind of afraid for that to hit the port currently.
Once I know what that's going to look like cost-wise, then I can venture into adding more. Obviously, eventually, I want to add more. They're moving really well. I am happy with the amount of people that are ordering the sheets. The sheets were mainly for me. I just ordered them, started selling them, but they're starting to move really well because people are learning how to do it. So I am keen to order more colors because I only have certain colors to work with now. But I got to sort through the tariff stuff first.
Neryl said, yeah, but I feel like there's so many rod builders that you'll kind of blend in more where everyone notices you at ICAST. But ICRB is not for you to go and sell rods at. ICRB is there for you to go and connect with vendors for rod building supplies and learn from free seminars and potentially more advanced paid seminars.
And buy your product without having to pay for shipping.
Yes.
It's those once in a lifetime. You come in, Reggie's got a 10-footer, one piece.
Pack Bay.
You don't have to pay shipping on that. You just drive home with it, you know? So that's also the plus for it. I would always, 100% ICRB.
Because I brought it over to the booth and you were like, what are you doing? Nothing.
That was the same year you came over with the blocks, wasn't it?
Nope.
No?
Different year.
I just go, what are you buying now? Like, I mean, it is what it is. He does it at ICAST too, even though they're not supposed to sell.
And then John said, I'm guessing it would be Friday evening as people are arriving.
So they're thinking after lunch, like
12 and beyond.
Because also think, I'm a vendor. Friday is the only day we have to set up. So I would have to have Friday morning to set up, and then they would be in the afternoon.
We would also have to come a day early to start. Yeah.
We'd have to come
Thursday afternoon to set up.
Well, we can't set up Thursday. It's only Friday. That's the only time.
I thought you could set up Thursday.
You're only allowed in there to set up on Friday. But we would have to go Thursday night
to be there Friday morning.
So we would be there first thing in the morning.
Definitely in-depth learning would pay for David Dwight Walls.
Yeah. The question is what kind? You know, like what
specifically?
What would you specifically with me, if I was teaching it, I can't speak for what anybody else is going to offer, but like for me, if you were going to a class, what would you expect to do? Would you expect to be able to make a grip from start to finish? Would you want to know how to close a wrap? Would you want to be able to end the class? No, tension, I can teach it 5 minutes. I got sticks on that. That's not premium kind of content.
I was referring to like hold the hand and...
Oh, literally physically touch them with it? Like, no, you're doing it too tight. I'm not that kind of a teacher. Every once in a while, I'll pluck your string and see if you can play a tune with it. Ting, ting, ting. That's too tight. Loosen up. Nope. It's too loose. But like, what topic? Like, if you were to learn from me, obviously I teach a lot of stuff all the time, but what would you expect? We're trying to get the feedback from the general populace to see, one, if people are interested in it, two, what kind of stuff you would expect to learn at that.
Specific topics that you would be willing to pay for, like, you know, hour to a couple hours or a few hours learning.
It would be great if it was after check-in time, because I get there Friday. Before check-in, I'd probably have to go Thursday.
That's the biggest thing that
it's travel
is weighing, is because if you did this, you may have to be in the seminars during the technical checkout time and just check in time and then check in later.
Because that's what we have to do when we drive out on Friday.
Yeah, we don't check in until like 5-6 o'clock.
We get the booth set up, we park the car or take our stuff to the door, park the car, and then we check in. It's usually like 4 or 5 before we actually get checked in.
Mm-hmm. One time it was 7 o'clock at night because there were so many people.
That's because their system went down that night too. Yeah. Everybody was so mad. That was 2 years ago.
Yep.
But I'll be asking it on the business page. I'll be asking it in the groups and stuff, and on the shorts and socials and stuff. It's generally, I don't know what to teach that would be considered how David and his wife worded it, like premium content. Like, to me, hands-on and people being willing to pay for something to learn from somebody specifically, that's some sort of start to finish kind of project, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. That's kind of how I look at it. A wrap you're not going to finish in 2 hours unless it's like an open wrap and it's very short. And a grip, you're not going to have any kind of chance to finish it in 2 hours. And then we were talking about having to take all the machinery, and there's just no way we're going to be lugging all that stuff around. Mm-hmm. I mean, the lathe, and we could take the lathe and the bandsaw, but then we got the liability of, am I going to be able to do it in my booth? Is it going to be in a classroom? Is it going to be somewhere like?
All that has to be sorted.
I wouldn't have to. That's just detail stuff.
Tina said, "I'm new to rod building and would love to get a class on weaving."
Weaving, okay. I'm not the person to teach the weaving. I know how to do it. I can set you up for being able to do initials or your name, but I'm not a.
Well, starting out, that's really the basics of how to do it.
Yeah, you just need to know how to make the pattern multiple different ways and the actual steps of weaving it.
Mm-hmm. How to lay it out. What tension do you need on the thread that's wrapping around the rod versus pulling the thread tight enough to not bubble, but not so tight that it pulls out of the jig.
You have to pull it both sides. Tiger wraps. You know what I would do for that class, Duncan? I'd pull in a TV and I'd put on Doc's key. And you'd pay him, not me.
She don't know it yet, but...
But what?
There's several rods of getting tiger wraps over here.
Well, you know what? Good on you. You got time.
I know how to do them. I just never had good results.
Well, guess what? I don't have good results the first time I tried stuff
either.
How
to not make a mess when gluing up because I'm done. It looks like I was finger painting with the resin.
Which glue up? Are we talking about grips or are we talking about glue up a rod? If it's a rod, wear gloves. Multiple gloves. Multiple changes of gloves.
I don't use gloves.
I do. Because I
didn't make a mess.
Somehow, you didn't, but I wasn't paying attention to you because I was cutting out grip inlays. I was digging holes in grips. Perfectly good grips, just putting a hole in it.
If you can watch a video in 10 times speed, you can find out.
You do the same techniques I do. I just have gloves on.
Yep.
It's just not putting too much glue on it is what it boils down to. And if you just start to pile up, is getting rid of that glue or putting it where it needs to go.
Putting it back in the can or the cup.
Have you worked on your tiger yet, Mary? No, I was at ICAST and I was uber distracted.
Starstruck.
Distracted. I wasn't so starstruck. It was more like, how do I act? Like, do I be cool? Do I recognize that it's Steve Harvey and I'm like, oh my God, it's Steve Harvey. Like, oh, it's so cool to meet you. Like, I watch all your TV shows. Like, do you fan out a little bit or you just chill? That's the reason I'm like, my brain was like, how do I act and not be offensive? So I just decided to kind of just
be yourself.
Just chill. Not chilling. Inside my head, you should have seen it. It was like watching what is the Mood movie?
The what?
The feelings that are running around in the head. Riley's little emotions that are in her head. What is it?
Anxiety?
What's the name of the movie?
I don't remember.
But you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Anxiety and all those. It was like
anxiety, anger,
happy. They're all running around just the whole time.
Yeah.
Freaking out.
Remember.
What was that called? Somebody help me. I know y'all have seen that dang movie. Inside Out. There we go. Thank you, Jim.
Yep. Good movie.
My inside.
So was the second one.
Yeah, the second one was pretty good. My inside was definitely screaming bloody murder and processing a whole bunch of things at the same time. But yeah, that was the biggest thing. Like, how do I act? Do I act cool? Do I freak out a little bit? Do I just shut up and just listen to him? I chose to shut up and just listen to him. But I'm sure the subtitles in my face, which you can definitely see in some of the photos, I'm just like, ah.
Well, you kind of have no choice but to go like this.
Oh, I don't have a choice but to do that with everybody that I meet.
I used to encounter stars sometimes when I worked at the Ritz-Carlton when I was younger. You just have to remind yourself that they're just people also. Yes. And remember that some of them are not as nice as their public image.
Yeah, but Steve was cool.
How to set up your spacing for wraps.
Is that your suggestion for a class, or is that a question for now? Sorry, there was a lot of...
Don't you have an online course for that too?
Mine are all individual specific. So, like, what if it's for the class...
Not just a generic...
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's for the class, that would actually be... We'd have to dissect multiple different kinds of patterns. Here's spacing for this. Y'all would hate it by the end of it, though, because y'all would
be like... asleep.
So, well, not even asleep, just so many numbers being thrown at you. That's always the biggest question. How do you set up spacing for wraps? And that's the other thing, too, that I was telling David. The thing is, it's like, okay, so let's say that maybe I got a group of 5 people, right? Who of them are beginners? Who of them are experts? Who of them are intermediate?
Would need to know your background and what you've been doing and how long you've done it and what you've tried and have a questionnaire.
And at that case, if I've got a brand new beginner that doesn't know anything about wraps and I got somebody in there that has a good knowledge of it, what am I going to teach this person that they already don't know in this class that's not going to overwhelm this person?
Yeah.
I said that's when it gets to be really hard. That's why
you'd have to separate it.
Beginners, I'm going to need you to
beginners
come to part
intermediate and then intermediate to advanced.
Well, then you're going to have to be like, you have to poll everybody. Where are you in rod building, you know?
Yeah, like you got to know.
Don't teach that one after lunch, right, John? Don't feed people turkey. Everybody just be like, that was so funny in that class. I'm watching like 10 people nod off, and I'm not offended in any way, shape, or form. I was just, you were going to sleep over there too.
I was over on the side like...
You were over there with Mo, having a grand old time there for a little bit. Then y'all ate, and y'all both are just over there just about to knock out. And I'm watching 10 people pass out. And
Turkey is not a good idea.
I wasn't offended at all. I was sleepy. If I had been talking, I might have taken a nap.
Feather inlays. So typically at the event seminar, Garone actually teaches that.
I'm okay. I'm not Garone status with the layouts, but also I don't have as many feathers as what he has. I have very few feathers. I can teach you how to do a feather inlay, but he's the expert.
Every rod of his has a feather, where yours have decorative wraps and grips. Right. I haven't seen him put out a rod that doesn't have feathers.
I have.
In some way.
I have. His,
not lately.
No, his wraps, his rods usually break down to where he's got feather inlays or he has wraps.
Well, yeah.
They're not combined into the two. So, but
I've seen a lot more feathers come out of his shop.
Well, because generally, if
wraps lately,
any of the feather inlay those they're going to be cheaper than doing a decorative wrap because it doesn't take him nearly as much time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I can imagine more of his clients are going to pay for feather inlays than they're going to pay for the wrap. Especially when I heard that he charges like $600 for a wrap.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know if it's true or not, but that's the rumor. It's not like I walk up to Mike and go, "Hey, how much do you charge for a rod?" Cool, that's what I'm charging too. I don't have that conversation with people. Wes will. I don't. It's none of my business.
Well, because I look at it as I want to talk to people about what they're pricing their rods at based on what I see of their craftsmanship. Because then I know, okay, I'm not going to sully the market or overextend the market by how we are pricing it based on our quality. Like it all needs to be in line. You don't need to have somebody.
I can't sell my rods for $450.
Just going to use examples.
That's dumb.
If Garone was putting out rods, his caliber, $400, nobody would buy a rod from anybody else.
Mm-mm. But
if you put out some of these rods for $400, nobody would buy a rod from anybody else if they want that style.
I'd be backlogged 3 years. People would be like, all right, bet.
You have to make sure that, hey, what have you gone up to on this type of classification of rod? So that everybody kind of keeps on the same pricing range for the amount of work that's going into it, quality of work that's going into it, and what the market is going to expect when coming to a rod builder.
Yeah.
Because there's always going to be people going, "Hey, I want a custom fishing rod." Okay, what's your budget? Oh, $200. Dude, here's a kit. I'm sorry.
I'm not your builder, and really, honestly, if you're paying $200 for just the kit, you shouldn't be able to build the rod.
The bare minimum on any custom rod where you're doing something on the grips, either a wrap, something is changed out of the norm from a store-built rod, whether it be ergonomics, grip design, grip shape. If you're slapping it together, this doesn't apply. But if you're going in and changing how the rod functions, tailored to a customer, it should start $350, $400.
Mm-hmm. This is a passionate topic for Wes. He'll go on hours for this, and I gotta interrupt you. After taking your seminar, ICRB, my brain literally hurt. My brain hurt. I had an hour to spit a whole bunch of numbers out at y'all, and I messed up in the beginning and had to rewind and go back and fix it because it was too much even for me to process. So I can imagine that y'all were going, what? So this reason I was like, write it down, take a picture, do whatever you need to do, because I just spit out a whole bunch of information because I only had 45 minutes is what we aim to do, so that if there's questions or the transition between whoever was there before, it goes over a little bit longer. So it's a lot of stuff to just be thrown at you, and hopefully it sticks, and sometimes it's just too much. So having a longer time period to break it down a little bit easier with some legit explanations where Mary doesn't confuse herself in the process, it would be better. Shading transitions with a clean, ugly side, it may be a quicker class. I think that would be a good class. Figuring out how to keep the ugly side from spiraling, tightening up the ugly side.
Or not be seen at all.
Maybe completely hide it. I'm still working on that. Telling people they'll beat any price is bad for business.
I don't think it's bad for your business. I think
them.
It's muddying the water of custom rod building in general.
I think you get what you get quality-wise. I mean, shit. There's most of the rods nowadays that are in store are $200, $250.
There's factory rods for $400, $500.
There's factory rods for $900 in some of the stores. And think about the Orvis fly rod blanks. They're hitting $1,100. Mm-hmm. That's nothing but a factory rod. It's just got Orvis slapped on it. You're paying for the name.
Applying decals, photos, and etc.
Bill Going suggested that we should have a podcast describing how we set up photos for pictures and stuff. And I thought, oh yeah, that'd be great if I remember how to take a photo of my rods.
The problem with that is a lot of the stuff we use to take pictures is right in front of us.
It's our lights for a show.
So
hey, we have to buy an extra
it'd go really dark real quick for us to show you how to take a picture.
Here's the proper step.
We have to record that separately from the podcast.
Yeah. Here's the demo. Yeah.
And y'all watch a video of this is what we do.
Well, no, if we get another light bulb for that one, we'd have extra light.
We still have to set up the whiteboards and have a separate section.
You could hold it. You could just sit here on your face.
Yeah, but then it's not going to work to record it that way.
I'm just kidding. I know. I'm playing with you.
Back.
So we're going to wrap it up. ICAST was amazing. But if you were to make a decision between going to ICAST as a rod builder or going to the ICRBE, ICRB is going to win hands down. ICAST is an amazing experience. I fully endorse and suggest that you should make it to ICAST at least one time in your life. It is very overwhelming the first time you walk in there because this place is massive. This makes ICRB look like a little pin drop in the bucket. It's tiny compared to ICAST. When we are there, we have never fully walked the entire show. Even Wes will take off for 30 minutes at a time.
There's still corners I miss.
He doesn't get a chance to go to every single booth that's in there. So
I'll go a different path every time to a different bathroom, basically, to try and cover. And I might get to 60% of it.
And I get maybe 25 because I don't like to be away from the booth because every time that I'm away from the booth, people come by or asking or looking for me. Mm-hmm. So it makes me feel bad to even go pee, or like to even just walk around for 15 minutes. Although every single person fusses at me to go take a break every once in a while. So we're getting better. It's only taken me 4 years to relinquish control of the seat, basically. I feel like I have to sit here. I need to sit here. But ICAST is really fun. It's not custom rod building. We do know companies that are there. We know some of the suppliers for said companies that are there, but they're not there to talk to custom rod builders. We are not the cool kids of the group at all. We're just like, oh. Now, people think it's cool to see like Mike Garone, because he was there with Fuji, and myself sitting down and working on stuff. And Mike put me to shame. He wrapped 3 rods, but
he also wraps in bands.
He also wrapped in band and wrapped shorter wraps and very tiny. My PVC was the size of all 3 of his rods. But anyways, that's just me throwing shade at Mike. He does amazing work. I pick at him all the time. So does he. He's always like, why don't you wrap in bands? And I was like, because I don't like bands. But I digress. They like to see how the rods are built. They think it's fun to see the process of it. But they're not really interested in it,
And, if you get a chance to as a rod builder, you get to go and see blanks that you may normally not be able to get a hold of.
Or talk to the company owners.
Yep.
Or at least the rep for them. You run into these little starter businesses. People are just starting out. Fish skins. And I know you guys can't see that. We both pointed at it. That was ridiculous. But fish skins. Like, these are the coolest little grip things I've ever seen in my life. So this is the fish skins that we were talking about. But it looks kind of like the wind grip stuff. But it's not the wind grip stuff. It's a lot softer. But it doesn't give too much. It feels really good on your hand. Like really, really good. And you can get these in basically any pattern that you want. Wes picked up the mahi. What other ones did you get?
Mahi, largemouth bass, redfish, and wahoo.
Yeah.
And they will do custom printing as well.
They'll custom print your stuff, and they can also get your logo put on them. Like I said,
we wouldn't have known about it if we hadn't known.
They did come by the booth first, and then we found our way over to their booth. On one of the times, we took a random path on the way back to get back to the booth and sat there and talked to them for a little bit. Really kind of excited to see what else, could come out of that particular place. But they didn't have an overly exciting booth. It was just a table with the 2 of them sitting there and some samples sitting on there. There's some booths in there. They build entire houses. Like, Yeti. 2-story... looks like a beach house kind of thing. Like, just people dragging boats to put in their booths. The
box trucks.
Box trucks are sitting in there. Like
CCA had their whole box truck in there with a boat.
Like, these people, it probably takes them 3 days to set up on these things. But they probably got it down to a science where they just and it folds up and they're good to go. But I mean, the booth spaces alone are crazy. But finding these little small startup companies and having these little conversations, that's where it is the kind of big win for the rod builders, because without us knowing about them, nobody would have known about them unless somebody else that was there said, hey, I saw this place and look what we can get. And we got those from them.
I went up to them to ask, because they're in Lake Park, which isn't 30, 40 minutes from Orlando. So I asked them, like, hey, you know, we're leaving Saturday. I'm going to leave early here Friday. Do y'all have a storefront that I can go by and look at them and buy some before we leave? No, we don't have a storefront yet, but here, take these and try them out. Great. I appreciate it.
Thank you. We'll give you feedback on it and be in touch. And we'll recommend your product as long as it holds up like you say it will. But I'm going to say the golf guys probably put a lot of stress on their stuff too, and through their testing has done very well.
I'm just excited.
I hope that they really do.
Those are pretty.
They are pretty and they feel good. They feel good. They don't feel like the wind grips. They're just it's
more,
not like
more tactile.
It's not like velvet. Like it's a really good feel in your hand. I don't really know how to describe it. But that's one of the benefits of going to ICAST is you get to see all the lure companies. You get to see these guys that are just starting out doing this stuff. You got the sunglass people. You got the apparel. You've got the fishing rods. You've got the feathers. You've got fly tires there. You got a fly casting ring where you can just sit over there and practice fly casting into water. They bring water into this place so you can literally practice casting.
There's boat manufacturers there, canoe manufacturers.
All the software for the boats is there.
The depth finders and trolling motors, everything about sport fishing trade.
Just everything. Anything you could think of, it's there. Even like in random things that do tie into it, but you don't think about it. Like the little things that hook onto your glasses so you can hang them around your neck. Like you got people there that are representing that, you know, and it's like, oh, this is fun.
Because it's designed to make deals for a full-on tackle shop as if you were trying to do another Bass Pro.
We saw Lance Dupree there. Lance was there to get more tackle stuff into his shop because that's what he's moving towards too as well. And he's doing great, and we were excited. We were happy to see him. We spoke to him for a little bit, but like Wes and I are terrible at taking photos because we just get into conversations with people where we're not.
I'd rather
hey,
talk
let's
to somebody than take a
selfie.
photo.
We didn't. We ran into Cinco sticks and talked to them for 30, 45 minutes in the little aisle.
I'd rather take the time to have a conversation with people than to take the time to take photos.
Take a photo. Hi. And it's always a weird photo anyways. But that's one of the benefits of ICAST. And obviously if we weren't working with Mudhole, we wouldn't be going to ICAST. We wouldn't be able to get in. I wouldn't know how to get in. I wouldn't know.
And you can get in as a rod builder.
Yeah, but you've got to have your business and something else. Or you got to have somebody that invites you and gets you a pass. One of the two. But it is definitely one of those things that if you can make it at least one time, it will not disappoint. 100%. It's a lot of fun, and the happy hour is obviously a plus because they give out free beer. And this year they had free margaritas also. At one point in time, I'm walking around holding a margarita and a beer at the same time.
And rum inside of a coconut.
There's a lot of coconuts running around. I was gonna get a coconut, but then I decided not to get a coconut because I was still carrying around the margarita and the beer, and I figured that was enough at the moment. I went all back to the booth, trying to juggle 3 drinks, and everybody be like, "Mary, you good?" No, one of these is Wes's. I'm just carrying it. And we had a lot of fun. And, you know, obviously this was definitely a year to remember, but ICAST is just a whole different beast compared to the rod building shows. We love going to the ICRBE. That's where I fell in love with rod building. We love going to Foley. We love doing the advanced classes with Mudhole. I love going to these classes they randomly have in Charlotte when they invite us. And like, hey, would you mind talking for a little bit? Sure. They're 45 minutes from my house. And just whoop, right up there, have a conversation, hang out with them, leave. Like, I enjoy teaching. So obviously all of those places where I can teach and I can help other people, I'm happy to do so. But ICAST is funny because I still have people coming up and they're like asking questions because they're like, oh, I follow you on social media. Had a lot of people go, I was looking for blonde hair. What happened? And I'm like, blank slipped. I dyed my hair. It is what it is. Just making people laugh. We met Marsad this year. And I followed him.
What's his last name?
I don't know how to say his last name.
Korashi.
Okay. Marsad.
I think... Correct me if I'm wrong, Marsad.
Met him for the first time, and it was great to meet him in person. Like, I enjoy his work. I think he does incredible work, and have known of him, about him.
Talk back and forth for years. On the Book of Face.
Yeah. Finally got to put the face to the name, finally, and it was cool. On cork, the acrylic paint pens, do they bleed? And after painting that on, what do you seal it with? If you put the acrylic paint on there and let them fully dry, if you don't seal them, you can rub the paint off. You have to seal them. And I have used 2 different ways to seal them and had no dramas with it afterwards. One of them is the U40 cork sealer. Follow the directions on the bottle. Do what you're supposed to. The other one is the Cork for Us cork enhancer. Both of them sealed them. Both of them, once they were dried, got sank into water solutions again. One tap water, one salt water solution, and sat for 3 days. And when I brought them out and immediately tried to rub color off, I couldn't get the color off. seal them, they'll be fine. Just don't try to rub it until it's dry. Let it dry, because obviously it's paint. Okay, you got to think it's paint. If it's not fully dry, you're going to be able to smear it just like you would on paper. I like to go to see the new stuff like that. Yeah, that's the cool thing too, because you get to see all the new stuff before it hits the market. So it's been fun tonight, guys. A lot of chitter, a lot of chatter. Hoping, don't know what the next topic is going to be on. I don't think I'm going to get to the tiger wrap before we get to our next built to cast series, but I'm going to have to get to it sooner than later so we don't forget how to build the rod. So
what step we're on.
What step we're on and where we're going with it. I'm going to have to get practicing tiger wraps worked in with all the grips I'm trying to catch up on and rods and stuff I've got going. So after building my first rod kit, I realized how much work it takes. Don't know how you can make a profit. I built another one for my wife. She caught a 5-pounder on it. Made me proud. They are 4 to 5 years old and holding up great. MHX blanks. Love what you guys are doing. Also built a fly rod for a friend. Australian kit rod with clear thread wrap. Way too many hours. Now I just fix rods for friends, thinking of building more since I retired, but then you have to buy a reel. I think I have 50 rods laying around that need reels. I understand that problem, but eventually you get faster at some of the stuff, and when it comes to, if you're building for business, you got to charge appropriately for your time, and that's all it boils down to. And that price is whatever works for you. It is a very personal price, but just kind of do some research in the area, make sure you're not undercutting a bunch of people, and make sure you're truly
charging for your time.
Like obviously they got to pay the retail price for the components, and then you also have to have some sort of labor charge in there, whatever you set it at, that helps cover for you physically putting the rod together and some of the supplies, if that's how you break it down. Everybody's price is going to be a little bit different. Like honest, there are, but when it comes to my builds, they get charged according to what I'm doing, because at this stage I know how long it takes me to do this, I know how long it takes me to do this, and some of the grips, I get
little mistakes
of not charging enough here and there because I'm not.
But it's also the first time you did something that intricate, or
yes, so I just have to guess and then deal with the consequences of said actions.
But the next person that orders it,
I know
charged appropriately
how much is going to happen, so we go to the actual appropriate price for it and go from there.
And if that person comes back, they got undercharged, they get charged appropriately the next time.
Beetlejuice came back. That's dark-winged duck.
Mm-hmm.
But dark-winged duck can be cut with a cricket. So
yes.
I'm already out there.
Not as hard as
already good for not having to charge extra on it. He got the same price again.
Like, we don't back charge.
No, I don't charge extra.
It normally would have
Absolutely not. And if I make a mistake on pricing, it takes me 3 times as long to do something. I'm not going back and going, hey, you owe me money. I'm not doing that. Mm-hmm. I eat it and just deal with it. It is what it is. But with time, you get faster with stuff. And with time, you figure out how long it takes you to do stuff. And then you can kind of break down your prices. It's one of the reasons why when I first started, I wasn't necessarily built wrapping the rods, because I came in as a decorative wrap. If I was putting a decorative wrap on, it wasn't always for customers. It was usually like practice pieces or like for family. And then Wes started, once I had like 4 or 5 and very, very knew what I was doing, we started doing stuff for customers, and it was just taking note of how long it took me to finish them. And then we got to a point where it was like, okay, a 10-inch wrap usually takes her between 6 to 10 hours, or sometimes 4. It just kind of depends, and here's the kind of price breakdown. Oh, you're welcome, Mike. Thank you. Well, like you said, if you got any questions or anything like that, you know how to reach me. To send me a message. I answer when I can. Happy to help. I help a lot of people all the time. Don't have a problem with it. I just, when I have time to do so, I will answer you. But anyways, we're gonna head out. It was great chatting with you guys. We really appreciate you hanging out. Don't forget to use Decorative10 whenever you're ordering from mudhole.com to get any of your rod building supplies, anything CRB, MHX, American Taco, Gaho, or the Pro Products line. You can get 10% off at any point in time all year long, as long as there's no other sales running on. Sometimes you can get it while sales are running on. Power wrappers can also be included in that, and those all-in-one kits that they have as well are included in that price. The other thing is if you have just tuned in to Decorative, we have a whole 50 other episodes prior to this, and our very first baby episodes. We're actually 2 years old as of yesterday. This is our 2-year mark. Check out those other episodes. Obviously, quality and content was great. Quality of the video, not so great. I was working towards we're getting there. Getting better and better and better. But if you are not following us on YouTube, please like, share, subscribe, do all the things, get notified whenever I post videos. I do post on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Try to do it daily. I usually am pretty good about daily, but I do miss a few days here and there depending on what's going on. And just check out our business page as well, thedecorativestudio.com.
that is specifically for rod building apparel, especially for the Southern Rod Builders Facebook group that we run. We have their logos and the slogans and stuff on t-shirts, and you can get it ordered through them. They drop ship it, and you can pick your colors. It was just a lot easier for us to have a drop shipper do it instead of waiting to do a massive order and then take everybody's money and then try to get it over here.
Shipping
and then try to ship it back out. And sometimes they'd be out of colors, and then we had to choose new. So drop shipping just became the easier option. We also have any of the extra random grips that I may have made in the past are on there, which can be cut down to size, made into a new set, or however we can add trims to it, do whatever we need to fix it. The price on there includes some adjustments without us going crazy. If we're cutting the block apart 14 times and gluing it back together with 16 different colors, then yeah, there's going to be a little upcharge. But that's on there. And any of this doesn't really apply to the rod builders, but any of my time that I've had to build rods, and I just have some rods here that are sitting around for sale, like the graffiti set's going to get posted, and the Star Wars set will get posted, because those were built for fun. They weren't really built for me. Yep. I have held on to the graffiti set long enough. I need to let her go. But any finished rods will be posted on that. And that's basically what that is. If you need rod building supplies like EVA, or you are interested in taking a decorative wrap course, or one of the grip courses that I have, which is the only one I got, is the graffiti inlay. That is on threadcentral.net, and you can also get VisualWRAP and also some of David's products, where he's got VisualWRAP. He's got
Visual Weave.
He's got Visual Weave, VisualWRAP, but he also has some apparel listed there as well. He got his wrap sticks on there, and his pattern packs are on there for VisualWRAP. And you can also get the snapper, a little photo tool that actually helps you take pictures of your rods and make them professional. Make them pretty. But anyways, it's been great. We appreciate it. We love you guys, and we hope you have a great night. Bye.
Toodles.